Welcome back to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. I'm Rosa.
And I'm still Sharyn.
We thank each and every one of you all for joining us once again for Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. If this is your first time viewing Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa, hello to you.
Yes.
And make sure by the end of this video you subscribe, like, and share our videos. We would appreciate that. Thank you. Before we even get into the shout outs, we're going to make some announcements. I think Sharyn has a big one.
Hey, the big one is there's a big show coming on real soon, and it's going to happen in September, I think the 12th. It is the Sheri Shepherd Show. Please do yourself a favor and tune in. She is good, she is funny, she is kind, and she is so very entertaining. And she would love to see you too. Okay?
Yeah.
Sheri Shepherd, look it up. Check our girl out because she is deserving of your attention.
And just so y'all know, we're not trying to promote anything. Sharyn is just a good friend of Sheri Shepherd's. Well, she considers herself a good friend of Sheri Shepherd's.
Yeah.
So she just
and I support her spirit
friend.
and her efforts. That's it. As simple as that. Okay.
Way back when they did comedy together.
Right. So another comment to make is the fact that we really appreciate you guys. We're definitely over 1,100, just subscribers, and we just appreciate the journey that we've been on with YouTube. Keep it coming. Please share it with your friends, like Rosa says, and we do enjoy this. We wouldn't do this if we didn't have fun.
Right, because just when we are about to throw in the towel, you all say something, I'm like, we got to continue on.
Exactly.
They're coming on us.
Exactly. It's
champ,
on.
We got to keep going, champ. But
I don't know what mood Rose is in, but we're going to get through this, okay?
We are. So anyway, now let's get into today's shout out. So our first shout out goes to Universe Fleece. Thank you for being a subscriber to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. I have not heard from you, but I hope you are still watching. Second is S. Martinez, or is
Martinez? Martinez.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Okay. All right.
It looks like Martinez, really, with the S in front of it. But
Martinez.
Is that S. Martinez? Thank you for being a subscriber to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. And our last subscriber of the day that we're shouting out is Yolanda MB. Thank you. And thank you for your comments, too.
Thank you.
So today's topic, I guess it's a little on the serious side.
Yeah. It is. It could be. Yeah, depending on where you line up at. But it is.
Depending on where y'all are.
Because we've been having fun and we keep it real.
Right.
But we do have fun. And but this is a little serious. It's serious as in it's very probing and it makes you self-reflect.
Yeah. Because sometimes we do little silly ones. But today we're going to be talking about mother-daughter relationships.
Whoa!
They aren't always easy.
That's
or are they?
Yeah, depends.
So depending on what your relationship is to your mom. But Sharyn and I will share a little bit of what our relationship is like with our mothers, and then you guys can let us know about your relationships. But know that what Sharyn and I say today is just our opinions with our mothers and how we
and our
see
experiences.
And we are not saying your relationship need to be the same. We're not professionals in any way, but
it's just giving you some food for thought. So
absolutely.
So with that, I'll just jump on in if you don't mind.
Yeah.
All right. So as Rosa said, we're talking about relationships and not just any relationship. It's usually the most dramatic, dynamic, serious, deep relationship you have with another human being, other than your child, your husband, your mate, your wife, is with your mother. Mothers are your first teachers. They introduce you to the world. They support you. They protect you. They feed you. They love you. They teach you. They do all of that.
Supposedly. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, yeah. So, and I'm telling you, as I'm the older one here, and I've met a lot of women. Shirley dated a lot of women. No two women have the same type of relationship with their mother.
Absolutely.
Each one is unique.
Yeah. Now, some of them may be similar, but none of them are the same.
So we're asking you out there in lesbian land, how's the relationship with your mother? How would you describe it?
Yeah.
Is it great, fun, nurturing, supportive? Is it toxic, angry? Is it combative? Is it violent? Violent.
Yeah, and even if for those of you whose mom may not still be here, when you think back, what was your relationship like? Just that little feedback.
Are you guys talking to each other? Are you loving on each other? Do you go shopping together? Can you still tell your mother your secrets? Is your mother in your business? And she never got an invitation.
One of them mamas.
Is your mother still running you and your life?
Yeah.
And we're asking this because it's when you're doing stories and having conversations about being a woman and women who love women, all of that, when you put all of that in the mix, I tell you, let's not forget what the relationship was with your mother. Oftentimes, our mothers are our number one cheerleader. It's like you can do no wrong. Whatever you want to do, your mom's right there, got your back.
That's true.
Some of us, not so much.
Yeah.
Is your mother your number one critic? Is your mother jealous of you? It happens. Or, okay, let's not say jealous if that's too strong. Envious.
Well, it may be true, though.
Oh, it may be. I know, but I'm just saying that maybe some people, if you got a pinch with that word, and there is a difference between envy and jealousy. So you look it up. I already know what it is. So seriously, it's just, as I already stated, no two relationships are the same when you're talking about mother-daughter. And as we go on today into this conversation, it's not going to be easy for everyone, because it makes you think sometimes if the relationship isn't as pleasant as sometimes they portray on television, it makes us go to a place we don't necessarily want to go. Right. I've met women who haven't talked to their daughters in 5 years and ain't trying to talk to them this year.
Or I've met some daughters who not talking to their mamas.
Right.
For 5 years.
Right, absolutely. And if that is to exist, or if that reflects something that you're going through, our only question is like, why? What happened? Not that we're trying to put everything back together again or trying to get all in your business, but there's always a reason for things being the way that they are. And where we're going with this is, regardless to what the relationship is, good, bad, toxic, nice, lovely, I bring my mother flowers every Sunday, whatever it is and how you would describe your relationship, the underlying question for this conversation is, did your relationship change with your mother once you told her that you were a lesbian and that you were coming out? So two questions here. How is your relationship with your mother? How would you describe it? And the second part is, did
your relationship change when you came out?
Yeah.
If you have come out.
If you have, everyone has it. There's some people, they say your mother always knows. Sometimes mothers know that they have given birth to the biggest, baddest dyke in south side of Chicago. But the dyke is still denying it. I'm not gay, Mom. I'm not, because it's as though you can tell anybody, but you can't tell your mother that.
Yeah. Or your mother's running your life so much that you scared to come out. So some people,
if one could be scared of their mother.
Yeah, but they might be. That might be the relationship, or they just haven't recognized that that's what it is. I know for me, for a while, it was being scared, but then I got to the point where I just didn't care anymore. I mean, nobody was really doing anything for me that I cared that much about.
That's a nice way to put it.
I'm trying to put it nice, and I'm trying to combine it because in my situation, I've had like 3 moms.
No, wait. Well, let's slow it down a little bit.
Well, four technically.
Wait a minute. Now you hear what Rosa just said. She really has not 3 but 4 ongoing relationships. And mother-daughter type. So would you please explain how did that happen?
See, what had happened was no, I'm just kidding. Yo, my neck is jacked up. I don't know what's going on with it, but anyway, no, for me, I mean, I guess some people would look at it as a blessing to have that many mothers, but and I guess in some sense it was a blessing, but in others, for me, where our relationship is,
not so much.
All 4, and I'm talking about my biological mother, I'm talking about my stepmother, my adopted mother, and my godmother. So yeah, I got like 4 mothers. And before my aunt passed, my aunt mama.
Yeah.
But she was more like a mom.
But, Aunt Tootie.
But for me, with even those 4, like the relationship, it's okay. It's non-existent for pretty much the relationship with my stepmother and my mom and my biological mother.
No. Well, before you go any further, I have questions. I'd say, why is that so?
Oh, I was gonna get to that.
Okay, I know, but I mean, maybe some things I don't know about Rosa. You know what I mean? But I'm just, like I am curious. How you see that.
For my biological mother, most of you all know my story. I grew up in foster care, so that's been in and out. But when Sharyn was opening up with the fact that our mothers are our teachers and, guide us and do all of this, and I can't say that my mother didn't start with that, because I felt like growing up and seeing her in different pockets of my life, that she did her best and she was trying to do that. But as you know, when drugs take over people, they become different, and my mother became a different person. And so when I say us, my sister and I, being in and out of her life, it strains it, number one, because she's not always there. But even when you say you have a mom and your mother is supportive, and I don't ever remember her being
those
that
things.
Mom, and my sister and I did sports all of our lives, pretty much ran track. I played volleyball too, but so I can remember getting up, going to some of our track meets, and my mom still laying in the bed. And she's not even, some people wake up later, come up to the track meet to cheer you on. Not her. Everybody else mom out there, but in a sense, my mother would try to do nice things to make up for that. So instead of us having a conversation, like, I'm sorry I wasn't at your track meet day, she'll just have like maybe a cake on the table when my sister and I come home to say we did a great job or whatever. And sometimes we come home, the cake's on the table, she's not even there. So it was a weird type,
Well, I'm not laughing as in haha, but I'm laughing. It's interesting because sometimes we do the best we can.
Right. And that was her way of saying, sorry I wasn't there, but, I know y'all did well, so here you are. Because you didn't even know if we won or not. You just bought this cake. Or,
on the premise that, look, I think you're good. And
sometimes it was an outfit. We go upstairs in our bed. It was an outfit laying, a new outfit. Whatever it was. That was her way, I feel. Because to this day, we still have yet to have a conversation. A real conversation like mother and daughters have. We have not. I've never had that type of conversation with my biological mother. Never. So it's never been like that. And when you say... did our relationship change when I came out? It's like I didn't really care what my biological mother said or thought when I came out. It was more of other people in my life that I was kind of nervous of, but she was definitely not it.
Not on the list. She didn't make the list.
Yeah, she wasn't that that much involved in my life anyway. I don't really think it would have made a difference whether I'm straight, gay, or whatever to her.
Okay.
It still would have been the same. As far as my
adoptive mother,
as far as, because I'm talking about the non-existent relationships right now, so let me just throw my stepmother in there. So let me go with her
Stepmother, as in this is the woman who married your natural father.
My biological
Your biological father. Okay.
And my biological father and I have a relationship. So I'm not saying it's the perfect one, but it is a relationship. So he has a wife who I think she wants to be a part of my sister in our lives, but she doesn't have any daughters, any biological daughters. She had 4 sons, and so maybe she just doesn't know how to reach out to girls, but our relationship is non-existent. Like, when I came out, I didn't care what she thought either.
That's true. That's true for the non-caring column.
I mean, growing up, we didn't have the best experience with her. My dad, I always knew who he was, so he wasn't a mystery. And when he married her, I didn't have any contact with him for a long time. He came back in my life really when I was about 16, and so by this time, I'm with a whole set of parents that he knows nothing about.
Wow.
And
but how did that happen?
What do you mean? That's not
no, you just
relationship.
Said
that's a whole nother story. I mean, that's a whole nother show.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to give y'all a whole nother show about that.
Okay.
But I'm saying that to say I started visiting him every summer at that time. And when I was there, his wife would sometimes be there, sometimes be on a vacation. Like, I feel like she was taking the vacation because she knew I was coming, that type of thing. But, again, we never had a conversation about that. Not that it matters, but I'm just saying we don't have it's a non-resistance. So we're talking about relationships with our mothers, and that's just pretty much where that one is.
Well, can I ask this? How did your stepmother find out you were gay? Did your father tell her?
No, now I am close to one of my brothers who happens to be my stepbrother, her son, but he's still my brother. Love him, like he was my biological brother. I told him that I came out to him, and of course, he's close to his mother. And so I think he told her first before even my dad.
Oh.
So,
okay.
And my dad did have, an issue with it. I'm assuming his wife did too, because he did. I didn't talk to her per se. He told me, he pretty much needed a minute and whatever. And I was okay if the relationship didn't start back up, because when I came out, I knew I was going to lose some people. Okay. And I was okay with whoever had an issue with the situation.
Okay.
And that ties me into my adopted mother. So she also had an issue when I came out. And I actually didn't even speak to her for about 3 years because of it. And that's what you do. You give people their space, because it doesn't change who you are. I'm still the same Rosa that grew up in your household, that you got mad at when I didn't follow the rules, and that you was loving when I did something great. So, I mean, why? What was the difference? So, but I must say that I didn't really think that their opinion was that great.
Okay.
When
did it matter
made
that
this
much?
Decision to come out, because our relationship was already strained anyway. Like, I've never had one of those moms, and when I say I have 4 moms, and that's why when you say, oh, that could be a blessing, I've never had one of those moms where I could just pick up the phone and just have that candidate conversation with, and just, lay it all out. Or if I'm having issues in my marriage, talk to them. I've never been able to do that. So to me, that's foreign when people call their moms and be like, Susan hit me today, or, we breaking up or whatever, and their mom's in their business. And it's like, my parents really haven't, because I haven't told them, because their opinions really doesn't matter what happens in my life. I think if I was closer, it may, but, it didn't. So, I mean, I don't know. And then my godmother, I thought our relationship would have been closer, but, then she did some things with my biological mother, as far as, when she was talking about her kids, I felt like my godmother should have at least, stuck up for my sister and I, and she didn't. And so to me, it just felt weird. And then, so I backed away from that relationship. Okay. But again, she still wasn't that type of person I would call and be like, oh my goodness, I'm not having a good day and what should I do? It just never was that type of the relationship for me. If I have those type of moments where I need to call somebody, it's always a good friend I've had for 20 plus years or something like that. I would call and maybe give them a little bit of lowdown, or my sister. But outside of moms, no, it's a non-existent relationship. So when you say, did you grow up as a motherless child? And I did. I felt like my biological mother, my sister and I were the moms. And we had to do a lot of the growing up quick and just being in and out of foster care with different families. And you see a different dynamic. And you definitely see what Sharyn was talking about at the beginning, because in some of those households, there were mothers who the kids were already out of the household when you were in there. And so you can see the dynamics of them talking to their daughters, or the daughter coming home, or even going grocery shopping at the house. Sometimes when you're growing up, that's what you do, but you have that relationship that supports that. Right. So
right. And you've never had that with any of them?
I've had it. I did have it with my aunt Tootie. But that was short. But it gave me the sense of what it would be like. Yeah. And that's all I needed. So I felt good with knowing what that felt like, because all of my life I never felt that. And when I got close to my Aunt Tootie, I was already like 25, and so it was a little later in life, but I finally felt that mother-daughter relationship, even though she wasn't my real mother. I had
you felt the love
connection with her, exactly,
and the support,
and that's what I was just
she was all in your
She had my back. I mean, it was the first time I really felt like somebody had my back for me. With all my flaws that came with it, So yeah, so that's it. That's
wow.
Yeah, I ain't trying to take up the whole show from you.
No.
But I did have 4 mamas.
No. As I'm sitting here thinking, I said this is surely going to be a part 1 and 2. But no. But thank you. And though you and I, we've been together and we've been married for 6 years, I don't know everything about you. I mean, people never do. People know what you share. And
but
I got the headlines.
An open book.
And I like that about you.
You ask, I don't mind giving it.
You don't have secrets. No, I don't either. Sometimes you may be sorry you asked me.
Right.
But I'll give
you the truth.
I'm gonna run it down to you. But
and what I just gave you all was the Cliff Note versions. Trust me, is more, but due to the timing of the show, I was trying to.
One thing you will remember that how Rosa got 4 mamas. You know what I mean? Or 3, or 2. How did that happen? But life happens to people.
Yeah.
What they say? Life happens when you're planning on doing other things.
Yeah.
So with that, today's conversation is about the relationship women have with their mothers, and the people in their life who either takes the role of mother in their lives. And the second part, like I said, was going to have to be a part 2, is how and why did the relationship change when you came out, and did it? Because, some relationships just get closer. I mean, some women are like, oh, I'm glad she can trust that with me. I feel like I really know my daughter. Oh, that's why she didn't want to go on the prom with the boys.
Exactly.
That's why I ain't got to worry about her being a virgin. You know what I mean? That's why, But, it's very real. And so before I go further, I'd like very much to throw it back out there in lesbian land. And this is one of those episodes where we want to be reflective, just for you to look at your relationship with your mother. Yeah. The good, the bad, the ugly. Did you ever have those, you got a good friend who like, oh, I wish my mother was like that. You know what I mean? We say it underneath our breath, we throw it in our mind.
You go to your friend's house, you be like, dang, they mama cool.
Right. Or there's always a Kool-Aid house in the neighborhood, and I do believe my Rosa has that kind of Kool-Aid house mentality. When I came into her life, and, we have a daughter and son, and so she's like, the other kids would come over behind Tyler, and it was just like, I want my child to be so very comfortable in our home, more or less. I want to know her friends.
Absolutely. And that was
and welcome that too. Yeah.
That was my thing, because being a motherless child, I knew the things I wasn't going to do. So I was trying to do things differently at that point. And I wanted my daughters and sons' friends to know that this is a safe household. Like, you can have fun over here. No, you ain't gonna be doing nothing that you wouldn't do at your mama house. But at the same time, I also wanted to know where my kids was at certain times and having fun in that environment. So,
right. Well,
so I created the environment for them.
Mm-hmm. You did a very, very good job. I haven't been there for everything, but from what I see and what have I experienced and what you've shared with me, you're a wonderful mother.
Oh, well,
and I will also say, I've never heard you refer to yourself as a motherless child.
Okay.
I do realize that sometimes, I would even say often, we hit some sensitive subjects. We hit a nerve with some people. So again, our apologies if you, one of the subscribers, one of the people looking at this, if you've lost your mother, we share out and express our condolences. And if you're having you have a ongoing relationship with your mother, we're just asking you to look at that. The good, the bad, the ugly. There's some women that I've come across that such wonderful, positive relationships with their mother. And when you hear a woman say, "My mother is my best friend," there's no joke there.
Yeah.
She means that. My mother is my best friend. And I didn't have that.
I was just going to ask, did you consider your mother your best friend?
And but we became friends before she transitioned. And this is, as I said, we definitely going to have to make this part 2. So we're going to start with this next week, because we just can't fit it all in, and we're not trying to rush it. We just want to, just talk to our friends out there in lesbian land and far beyond.
Oh, wait, you trying to give your story next week?
Yeah. So, because there's so many other things that we need to cover. Like I said, I don't want to rush it. This is like I say, sometimes bite-sized pieces.
Yeah.
All right. Ain't trying to drown you. You know what I mean? But what I do want to say that I'm looking forward to the feedback on this one, because sometimes we just have to go there. We're women.
Yeah.
We are women, and regardless of what your relationship is with your mother. She's the one that brought you here. Chances are you look like her. Why my nose look like this? Why I got a big head?
I do look a little like her now.
Why I got a big head?
As much as we, I rarely even speak to my biological mother. She does call, and I will take her call like every fifth time.
Right. When you're in the mood. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, and that's been a whole lot, because I didn't even talk to her at all for about 5 years. When I met you, I don't even think I was talking to her.
No, you were not talking to her. And when you jump in the pool, you don't know who filled it up, right? You just know you in water.
Yeah.
Okay, you feel me? So I'm telling you, when I met Rosa, I thought it was more than anything, I thought it was sad, but I'm saying, how can that be? How can you not talk to your biological mother and she's still on the earth? And, Mother's Day had come, and, and I'm telling her that, my story that, we buried my mother the day before Mother's Day, which just tears your heart out even more. So all of that, and then when Rosa started giving me the backstory and the front story.
Yeah, well, I don't think you believed me at first. I'm like,
no, it's not. I didn't. It's not like I didn't want to believe you or that I didn't believe you. I just thought, if it's true, it's so sad. Yeah. You know what I mean? And some things you just can't fix. Not that I came into your life to fix anything. I'm still like, okay, if this is true, if half of it's true, my heart hurts for you.
Yeah.
And then I gave her the story, like, we only get one mother, and let us evolve to the point where, we can forgive them. Sometimes they're just people under repair.
You kind of broke up that monotony anyway when you, I think it was a Mother's Day or something, and you were like, "Are you okay with me calling your mother?"
Yeah.
And that was probably about 5 years after I hadn't talked to her. And I was like, well, you can talk to her. I just don't have anything to say to her.
Yeah.
And then I felt like you wanted me to at least try. And so I think gradually I was like, okay, I guess I can
I can I can say something without throwing up. Yeah, right.
There,
Okay.
But also know that because she's done, drugs like the majority of her life, she's not the same person, and I don't really, even just to ask her a true or false question is, what I'm saying,
loaded.
Like pulling teeth.
Right,
yeah,
right,
right. It's
right.
either correct or it's not. Like, I don't understand, so that frustrates me, and it puts me all the way back. It backs me up so much where it's like, now I see why I don't talk to you.
Right.
And I don't like that feeling. So that's why I just kind of pick up the phone every now and again. I mean, I want her, if she's going to leave this earth, to think that she had some type of connection with her children or whatever the case. That's on her thing. But for me, I don't really have to have that. I think I needed that and wanted that for a long time. But then when I got a feeling of what a mother-daughter relationship could be.
Right. Well, it's a positive
my
one.
Aunt Tootie,
yes.
I think it was like God was setting it up to give me what it could be, and for my life when I have children. I think it had to be, that was the purpose, because 5 years later, when I met my Aunt Tootie, 5 years later, then I had my first child. So I think he was just setting me up with our relationship, because she and I had such a great dynamic relationship.
Very positive relationship.
Yeah, and,
sure.
And it and when I was wrong, she said I was wrong, and but I knew she had my back, and she didn't say it in a way where she was gonna go tell 15 other people that I was wrong. Like, that's who my biological mother is, and so. That's it.
That's a lot, and oftentimes we ask people for things that they simply can't provide us.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe I don't know, but I know your mother lost her mother at a very early age.
Yeah,
so,
and I think I've
what
said
happens
that
with
other shows.
Right, you have. It's just like they can't give you what they don't have. So
and I looked at that, and that was one of the reasons why I forgave her from.
For so many other things.
Foster care. Right.
Yeah, so many other things.
Because I knew she didn't really know how to be a mom. Her mother passed, my biological mother, I'm talking about. Her mother passed when she was 13 months old.
Oh, yeah, not even 2.
So she never even knew her mother.
Right.
She probably had visions of her, but just didn't know who she was as a person. And at that point, because she had so many brothers and sisters who were older, because my mother was her mother's youngest.
Right.
And
out of
I think it was like 13.
13.
12 or 13, something like that.
Your mother was the youngest of 13 children.
Exactly. And then her siblings started raising her. Every year it sounded as
and she got passed around.
The story, people were passing around. I'll raise her or do it this year, then she coming to live with you next year. So my mother didn't understand even being grounded in what a family should be. She didn't stay long enough anywhere.
Could be right.
So
right.
So I took that into account, and I was just like, okay, Rosa, you're not perfect, and I can't even give my kids what I don't have. So I get that, but I try to at least go to others and talk to them about it to see, like, okay, if I don't, if I don't like doing this, I don't want to, insert my fears and my anxieties onto my kids, knowing
children,
that I have those.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So you go get help and try to, get past that point. But with her, I think it was, she wasn't in that era. That's not what they did.
She didn't,
because her and her sisters and her siblings were all the same, similar. They weren't all on drugs, but they thought the same and functioned the same and had that same mentality. And it was just like, I can't.
It was too much.
I won't.
It was too much.
It's not.
So
gonna happen.
As we open up the conversation today, it was like we're asking you to look at the relationship you have with your mother. Is she, is she kind? Is she loving? Is she sweet? Is she supportive? Is she here? Is she here for you? Yeah. Are you still her priority? Does she still support you and approve of you and your life? And can you have lunch with her, once a month? And do you go shopping? All the endless list of the wonderful things we do with our mom, especially when it's good, and the pain that we feel once we lose our mother, because you only get one. Though there are others who can step in that role, but It is what it is. So at this point, just for time concerns, we're going to leave it here because Rosa is really ready to share, and we're going to break this down to 2 parts, and I will.
Next part is all you.
Okay, whatever. But I want to, I want to wrap it up, and just say what we normally say, which is we're always wishing you the very best
of all good things. Stay safe and stay woke. We love you.